Alright, so we've got a new amp day here, always fun. This is my new bass amp. It's a bit of an upgrade from my old one. My old one was a little 15 watt RMS, I think is the name of the company, that I got 15 years ago when I got my first bass. This I recently picked up. It is a Trace Elliot 300 watt. Now I'm not sure what the model number is, but I know it's got the GP7 preamp, which is pretty good from what I've heard. It has your input gain, then you've got an output level, output gain. The input's here. It's got a little button there that tells you when it peaks, when it overloads, when it starts to clip. You've got an active and passive switch. Right here there's a shape 1 and shape 2 switch, which from what I know, just from what I've looked up, just sort of changes a little bit how the tone sounds. So there's that. You've got an in and an out switch, which I'm honestly not entirely sure what it does. Then you've got here the GP7 7-band graphical EQ. It's got 7 EQ levels you can do, and then the level of the EQ, how much it affects it, and then you can have the EQ be either in or out, pre or post, that sort of thing. Then you got here a DI, which you can do either pre-EQ or post-EQ with a little switch underneath. An effects return, always good. The EQ balance knob, which sort of lets you blend the direct signal and the EQ'd signal, so it's kind of cool. Then you've got a mute button switch here, so that when it's on you can mute it and switch guitars or plug in your guitar or whatever without having to reach back here and find the power switch, which is somewhere around back. It's got a 15 watt speaker, 15 inch speaker, sorry, in the main cab here. And then along with it I got this other cab which has the 410s, sorry. It's a 1048 300 watt cab by Trace Elliot. Both of these, from what I was told by the guy I bought them from, are pre-Peavey, so they're fairly old. They're from back in, I guess, 80s, I think. I think it was sometime in the 90s is when Peavey bought them out. But this is the new amp. We will plug it in just a little bit and get some sound out of it, see how it sounds, see how it feels. I'll let y'all see what you think. Alright, so we've got it hooked up. I've got all the knobs at 12 o'clock, all the buttons unpushed, and we're just going to see what we come up with. Alright, so it's just a clean signal here. Let me unmute it. Here we go, ready? Alright, that's pretty nice. Passive switch, I think this does like a little decibel cut, but this is a passive. In fact, every bass I own is passive, so I don't know how much I'll get out of that one. But let's turn the pre-gain all the way up to 10 and see what we get. We'll turn down the pre-gain all the way down now. We'll turn the other up. Okay, so it's got a pretty wide range there, volume and that sort of thing. Let's play with the pre-shape button here. Shape 1 is what we've been on, so. Shape 2. It makes a little difference. That's a little bit different tone. Next, we'll keep it on shape 1, and we'll turn the out-in button here and see what it does. So here's. Gives a little more boom. It tightens up the bass a little bit, I think. I like it that way. Alright. Next thing here is we got the EQ section, which has the 7-band EQ. So we're gonna, everything's been in the middle so far. We're gonna go ahead and turn everything all the way down, just because I'm curious. Makes it very subdued sounding. I'll slide all the sliders all the way up because, well, reasons. Here we go. Alright. Now we're gonna scoop the mids a little bit. So we'll put the bottom fader all the way at the bottom. Bring up the ones on the end a little bit. We'll sort of do like a scooped smiley face shape. Here we go. That's kind of fun. Then we'll do the exact opposite. We'll do a frowny face. We'll boost the mids. And sort of scoop the stream treble and stream bass a little bit. So now we've got kind of a frowny face. Here we go. That's kind of cool. I like that. And then we got this EQ knob here. Which makes a little bit of difference. It's not a major difference. It's kind of a little bit, but we'll play with that. Then we got EQ in and out. Again, a little bit of a difference. Not, it's a little louder that way. And then we've got our DI, which I'm actually running out to the board there. And right now it's set for post EQ. So technically I can run it pre-EQ and bypass that EQ section for recording, that sort of thing. Alright. See, next thing we got here is the EQ balance. So here goes. That's with it maxed all the way out on a high EQ balance. Here's that low EQ balance. And then here's sort of the middle. So yeah, and then you got your line out volume, which is just sort of your post gain output level. So that is just the amp itself. It does have on the back somewhere, I saw it when I was breaking it in, there's apparently some other sort of line out. And there's also a line out right here for just a 1/4 inch line out. So that's kind of cool. And like I said, I do have this other cab, but it's not hooked up right now because I don't have a speaker cable for it right now. So I'm sure it'll sound different if I plugged in both cabs. It'd have a little bit of that punchiness from the 410s. So eventually I'll do that too. But it's definitely a good amp. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. It's going to get played a lot. So